Alrighty guys, welcome back, and as you can see, it's time for this week's budget review. So again, for any of you who may be new, I picked a Hemlock and Oak weekly planner for my budget planner for this year. It's definitely a lot slimmer than the daily planner that I was using last year. Again, I like to try to give you a visual reference. So, wow, this poor guy got beat up. So this is the daily planner that I was using last year. So it's about half the size of what we were using. But the thing that I like the most about it is that I get to cram everything into 1 week, and it's actually made it a lot easier to I guess like track patterns. It just, I don't know, like the daily planner was wonderful. I got organized and got to, keep track of everything. But with this setup, I just feel like I'm starting to notice more patterns. And, once you acknowledge the pattern, if it is causing a problem, then, you can actually do something about it. So that's mainly what I'm learning with this year's setup. Again, have not gotten into any of the values. I did this last year in my personal planner. I did use a Hemlock and Oak for my weekly last year, but to like actually do it with the budget in mind, I have not got to sit down and actually do this, though I am working on it a little bit outside of the planner in like a journal notes area before I actually put it in the planner. So, we are making some progress on it. Again, the first goal for the year that I picked was to, manage the store cards. They definitely were out of hand at the end of last year, and really like just sitting down and writing down like what we all had, who owed on what was on what, well, I guess what was on who. That really helped, because then it's no longer a mystery. So I guess, what you do with your actual debts and accounts, which if you found my channel, I'm assuming that you're in a similar situation. But like they always tell you to, take all your accounts and what you owe. But I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I didn't really account for store cards at the same time, because I was like, well, store cards are what I use at the store, they're for like getting goods, where this is like actual debt. So yeah, I kind of split the two, and just that little mini investigation of like who has a balance, what is that balance for, and how much is the balance, that really helped out. So again, we have not checked anything off for this week. We were so close to Target would be paid off by the end of this week if Target didn't decide to do site maintenance. So, yeah, out of all the weekends, they picked this weekend to do the site maintenance. I do have the payment to pay Target off in full today, but I have to wait until their site is done with maintenance. So, yeah, gonna have to wait until next week to check that off. But, I mean, hey, that's good news, right? That's one more of those checked off and ready to go. Again, you can see that you have, multiple goal setting pages in here, so they do provide you with those. The habit, again, the main habit that I can think of that was like the most beneficial to me budget-wise would be saving $5 a day. Again, it sounds like simple and a little bit corny. I know that there's people out there saving a lot more than $5 a day, but this one seems to work the best for me because it's not a super big amount, but it's enough to get me, close to $2,000 every year. So, just add a little bit more to it if you want the 2,000. But it's really, it's unnoticeable to me. Like at first, yeah, I struggled. I was like, oh my God, I can't give up the $5 a day. But the way that I viewed it is I can give $5 a day to Starbucks. I could give $5 a day to any of the variety of, drive-through windows, and you would think nothing of it. So why can't I transfer $5 a day into my savings account? Like why can't I fund me? So, for some way that has worked out. I've been doing this for multiple years, and basically at the end of each year, once I'm done saving it up, it just rolls over and becomes part of the emergency fund, which before I started doing that, emergency funds were like non-existent. So I will say, after having an emergency fund, they are nice. They are very nice to have. Still painful to pull the money from them, but I mean, when you need it, it is nice to know that you have it. Um, okay, so the next thing is they give you this daily framework here. And again, this was something that was kind of funny because it was like, well, what the heck does this got to do with budgeting? And yeah, apparently it affects budgeting as well. Um, Mainly, it would be the energy levels area because, again, the past years I was waiting until the end of the day and I was like, oh, let's track down like what you spent and what you did. Of course, it was after work. I'm exhausted. I just want to go to bed. Really don't want nothing to do with any of this. And I guess I rushed through it. Now, I switched because I was like, okay, like, how do you want to start each day? And that's when it hit me. I was like, man, like that's where most of your energy is. Like you are fresh. You are sometimes I work in the budget before I fully like wake up. It's kind of like in that meditative state. And I'm telling you, sometimes I come up with the best ideas in that frame of mind because, like the day in reality haven't like beat you down yet. So, yeah, that's actually made a really big difference. Um, just by switching the time that I do focus on my finances and my budget. So yeah, weirdly enough, this page has become quite influential into how I look at my finances now. Another thing that I enjoy about it is the self-care activities list. Just because I've never noticed before this that I mean, granted, before I started doing this, it's that my self-care activities are free. They do not cost money, and they make me happy. So, like, why wouldn't you? I mean, yeah, we got laundry, we got meal prepping, we got tidying up and cleaning the house, but I mean, which granted, okay, I do like to tidy up. I do. I'm a weird person. But like, yeah, there's so many times that we get caught up in this like having to do things, and you don't really have to do them. Like, life will go on if you don't do them. And, like, nothing bad's gonna happen. And just sit down for 30 minutes and read that book, or take 30 minutes to exercise, or paint, or, even if you're like me and you enjoy tidying up, just set a timer for like 15, 20, 30 minutes, whatever you got. And I know you're going to say, well, I don't have that time. Yeah, you do. You just choose not to use it. Like, just put that other thing off to the side. Trust me, everything, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. Everything's fine. And, yeah, and all of a sudden you'll be in a better mood, and maybe doing that stupid thing that you didn't want to do wouldn't be so stupid after all because you're in a better mood. So, with that, again, I do like to keep spaces, cutouts, whatever you want to call these, mini breaks in between these. One for my voice, and two for the ease of putting chapters into this video because they do quite, they do tend to get quite long. But yeah, no, I'm gonna take a mini break here with you, checking out my little vision board as again a friendly reminder as to why I do what I do, why I budget the way that I do, and what I would like to see more of going into the future. Alrighty, so we're gonna move more into the budget related materials now. So again, they give you this 2 years at a glance. I use this for my projected payoff dates. The dates that I have for this year, I just kind of analyzed, or I don't know, guys. I wrote down all of the freaking payments that I would be making for the year. You can see the washi tapes coming off. It's a mess. It's a mess back here. But basically, my system is to try to pay an extra $50 on each of the Focus accounts. And basically, when one of those is paid off, I move on to the next one. So I just wanted to know the bare minimum, like if I paid only that $50 each week instead of snowballing everything, onto the next account, like how long it would take. The other previous years I was using the stepit.com or the debt payoff planner app. One year I did try using Dave Ramsey's Every Dollar. Yeah, that didn't vibe with me. I am definitely a YNAB person. I do have a link for that down below as well. So between the YNAB and the debt payoff planner app, those two were the best. For me personally. But the thing, like, don't get me wrong, I love the debt payoff planner app because it does give you like a really kick-ass debt payoff planner, or debt payoff plan. But it just, I don't know, like there's too many wild cards in my life right now that even with the snowball method, which would be cool, if it did work out the way that it was supposed to, I would kind of lose motivation halfway through the year because I couldn't keep up with the snowball because of, life factors. So, that's why I picked the bare minimum, the slowest method possible this year, just so that I wouldn't get beat up by the mid-year motivation, lack of motivation actually. So, which kind of a good thing. It's kind of a good thing that I did it because, if you've been following me, you know that January and February, especially February, were just they were they were just bears of a month, okay? Like if it could happen, it could happen, and I'm just like 2025, like put the brakes on it. Like if this is how the year is gonna be, I've had enough. So yeah, if I would have kept that, like I know for sure because I really thought that I could have the perks card paid off in January, and yeah, that didn't happen because of life. And yeah, I really think I would have lost motivation like instantly. So that's why I picked the bare minimum projected payoff dates this year. Like this is the slowest we can go. Like if I don't have the perks card paid off in April, it's because I'm not paying it. Which we can see we are getting very, very close to it, but we have made progress. We have made some progress this week, so things are looking good. So that is still the account that I'm focusing on, and we can see those are the weeks that it's taking me to pay it off. A little bit longer than what I thought, but hey, it's getting there. We then go on to this year at a glance page, which I like to refer to as my dashboard. This is where like everything that happens once a year kind of goes on here. So that would be like birthdays, holidays. I'd like to include the vehicle things, so like the car inspections, registration of plates. The very first year I did one of these, I had the driver's license as well. We can see we even have Bath and Body Works Candle Day. March started out with a transmission. We could see many doctor's appointments. Those are the blue. That was February and January. So a dryer. We had to get a dryer. Yeah, so, and then like the little mini ones, like the store cards that I am paying off, we can see Discover is completely paid, so that was paid on the 6th. So if any of the accounts get paid off as well, they get marked on here. And then that way, because, like, if we're just looking at this, it's like, dude, you ain't doing nothing. Like, why aren't we making any progress? And then we get to this page, and it's like, oh, yeah, because, all of this crap happened. This is life. So, yeah, and I guess my budgeting system is a lot less traditional. Um, where most people just focus on like what needs done. I try to include like the variables that are floating around in the background that explain like why you're not making the progress that you believe you should be. I also track the credit score as well, and we can see that the poor thing got beat up at the beginning of the year as well. But that was because which we will see here. When we go to this page, I noticed that one of my accounts, even though I was making the payments on it, that the thing was going up. So I did apply for a 0% balance transfer offer, which, got that moved. And then I had to apply for a medical card as well, just to cover the, root canals and all of those. So that was 2 hits on my credit report. So that would explain why that thing has went down. But yeah. So again, they move you into these quarterly pages again. Again, this is where I track the actual Focus account, what the balance is, what I paid on it, what the new balance is. Perks is a little bit different from the others just because this is the card that I use for my spending. This week, my intention was to stop using this card for my spending and just, I think I pulled out Mr. Discover just because he was paid off at 0. So, like, any of like gas purchases and stuff like that I would do, that went on to that card instead of perks, just so that I could figure out what the actual balance owed was. Because, like, we can see, like, January 1st starts out 733. I make a couple payments, get it down to 453. But then February 1st, because the first of the following month, I always get the totals on the card, and now the card's 211. I'm like, where did $200 go? $200 just don't disappear. So apparently that was spending money that I missed. I missed when I was doing the calculation. So I was like, okay, so that's New Balance. So I started off with that, paid 40, should be 170, and now, March 1st it's 120. And I'm like, what the heck? Like now we're down 50 more freaking dollars. And it's like, I know my math is bad, but my math is not that bad. It's not. But cool. Hey, it's going down, so I'll take it. So again, start March off, and it's like, okay, 120. 120 is not that bad. I just make like two $60 payments, and I got this thing done. So, I made 70 on the 7th, which should have left me with a $50 balance, okay? But again, this is why I wanted that 1 week where, because sometimes it takes like 3 to 4 days for things to like process on the card. It's really not the fastest, quickest pending payment card I've ever had. So I was like, okay, I want a whole entire week of knowing that I did not touch this card. Nothing went on it. Nothing, I was making the payments that I would have done for the prior week. But right now, everything has processed, transactions, payments, everything. And it's telling me that I have a 122.24 balance. Not ideal. That's more than what I started off in the month. But it does make sense because I went back through the card, and again, I'm trying to use like the books, the planners that I've been using just to try to track everything. And there is a purchase from October of last year for my collagen that is 127. So again, it's not 122, but it is 127. And I'm thinking that's that because I don't think I paid that. So yeah, I believe I still owe for my October collagen. Which, that's why I started making my little debt, purchase trackers in the months. The other thing that I add to this page, again, if this is your first time watching my videos, I know I feel like I repeat things every week, but I'm always feeling like there's somebody new, okay? And so what I do, again, the first of each month is I write down the totals of each of these accounts, because for all the prior years, I was just going with what I'm starting with January 1st. I'm like, okay, January 1st, this is what I'm working with. This is how much I need to work to pay off. This is my mini debt tracker, by the way. Each square is $10. And so like that was the balance that I would go with, and then at the end of the year I'm looking at it and I'm like, what the heck? Like, yeah, it goes down like $200, $300, but like I know I've spent thousands of dollars on payments towards my debt for the year, so it's like, what's going on? Interest, guys, interest. So if you have a card with interest, like try to move that thing on to 0% as soon as possible. So yeah, like we can see that we started with like just the perks account itself, 733, that went to 211, then it went to 120. Just for time's sake, we're just gonna go with this number here. So like, yeah, we had 15, let's say 350. By the end of January, I had it down to 14, 780. Then by the end of February, we had 14 to 480. So yeah, I know I paid more than, what would it, just 300. Okay, I definitely made more than $300 of payments here in the pink. But that's all the more my balance went down because of interest. So that's the whole reason behind this, is so that, you know, like I don't get the big shocker at the end of the year, but it also lets me know, Discover was the big one here, because, you know, Discover started out the year with 39. Yeah, 41 in 1 month, and I'm like, that's not cool. That is not cool at all, and you're really not going to pay that thing down if it keeps going up. So yeah, see? Transferred Discover. Had enough of that. And of course, we had to open up the care credit because of the dentist, which we still haven't got any dentist bills, guys. I'm kind of scared. Like, when are the mystery bills appearing? Okay, so, we're gonna finish, well, no, I'll give you the flip through of the other months too. Okay, so, again, we go on to this holiday seasonal spending tracker here. This is just helping me, kind of like that yearly sheet that we saw here. So, like, yeah, of course, I'm gonna know, like, Easter and Halloween and stuff are coming up. Of course, you know, the car inspection and registration and plates. What this one is doing is those weird odds and ends for the seasonal that, like, we all know happen, but you don't really think about it. You don't really plan ahead for it. So that would be like the snow removal. I had to get liquid salt. So, you know, sweaters and jeans, decorations. Ray kind of let me get lucky this year, and I just like homemade a meal. So $0. Thank you, Ray. So far, Shamrock's shakes are $0 because I'm using all the gift cards. But these are like those weird things that just kind of make the seasons a little bit more enjoyable. And again, like, you know you're going to need them, but you don't like plan for them because it just kind of blends in with the everyday. But then again, at July, if you're asking me in July about do I need to purchase liquid salt for, you know, the snow removal, I'm gonna look at you like, that isn't even on my mind. I'm not thinking about it. So that's why I made this page, is so that, you know, whenever we start planning the budget for next year and that I could kind of get prepared. Like, you know, maybe in July, if I find myself with like 50, 60 extra dollars and I'm like, what am I going to do with this? And all of this is taken care of, I could say, ooh, I could put that back for, you know, when I need to buy liquid salt. I don't know, stuff like that. Maybe I need to come up with like a seasonal spending savings account or something. So again, I do like to just give you a flip through of what has occurred. Maybe there's a layout that you really enjoy, that you want to go back and see the video for that. But this is really how I'm using these weekly layouts, and this is still one of my favorites. But this is all of the stuff that we have got to go through, guys. And we can see I have started tracking those orders as well. Mainly if I would have had that for that October purchase. Maybe my perks card would be paid off by now. We can see the online orders were definitely down for February, and the charging what I can cover only had one slip for February, so that was good. Mainly, I think it was the fear of all the dentist appointments. Just again, because of mystery bills, I have no idea what I owe on those. Nobody has billed me yet, but I know that my insurance is not that good. It can't be. And of course, you get this nice little end of the month review where I get to reflect on all my spending and what's going good and what's not going so good. And that gets us to March. We've made it to March, guys. Lovely shiny green with a bunch of luck. So far, not that bad. We can see that my whole charging what you can cover has basically it's basically been thrown out. But once we get going through the weeks here, I will try to justify my spending. But again, we are going to take a quick break before we get into any of that. Alrighty, moving right along into March. Yeah, so just to quickly go over this overview here. Again, the boundaries, which I do have to watch with myself here, is the seasonal spending. Definitely whenever we are changing over from one season to another, I tend to get like really excited over it. I am definitely a seasonal person. I mean, we're moving out of winter whenever it's cold and going into spring when things are getting bright and cheerful. So, yeah, I've been pretty good at keeping myself at bay from purchasing seasonal clothing, seasonal snacks, seasonal decorations. I have definitely been online looking at seasonal decorations, but I just refrain from buying it. I do have seasonal decorations down in the basement, and yeah, have I brought them up? No, because it's a lot easier to go out and buy new. So, yeah, so I keep telling myself, like, you already have the decorations, like, you just need to get your lazy butt downstairs and get them out of the basement and up here. So, yeah, that's my main boundary, main goal for March there. Again, I picked out my 3 things for the self-care, so that's, I'm working on my painting, which I'm doing pretty good with that. I did return to tanning, which does cost money, but, God, is it nice. So, I picked a nice, package for that I know that I could pay in a timely manner. And of course, reading time, because I found a really good book series. So again, whenever I'm doing these self-care activities, I'm not on my phone doom scrolling trying to find that little dopamine rush from purchasing something. That's my main reason for the self-care items in the budget planner. Again, the intentions that I set for March is first, that I can't believe that I'm still paying on the perks account. Like, seriously, like, that should have been paid off last month. Yeah, like, really upset with myself that it is taking me that long to pay this thing. That is not cool. So yeah, that thing will be paid by the end of this month. I don't care how, but it will be. And again, to keep on working on the store cards, I know that I had Michael's listed as first for the month, but again, I completely forgot about Target. So, like, looking at, like, knowing that I still have this amount left on the Michaels, I know for sure, like, once Target lets me put a freaking payment on their website instead of having it down for maintenance, I will have Target paid off before Michaels. So, but hey, at least I get one. One of the cards will be paid this month. And of course, the habit. Not so good for March. As we can see, we got lots of trackers. But I mean, I will say when we're going back through them, it really wasn't that bad. It's not as bad as what I've done in the past, but again, I wish that I would have had more funds put back into savings to cover these, or at least started saving for these ahead of time. So that's the hindsight that I'm getting from that habit tracker right there. Um, Again, I make a "do you really need this" list. So yeah, again, HP photo paper, that's been on the list since January. Still haven't bought it. I am going to need it eventually. It's just not yet. The collagen, of course, yes. The vitamins I ran short on, and yes, guys, they do make me a better person each day. They are a necessary thing. It's not. I've tried other things, those keep me going, and they give me great blood work results. So, had to purchase those. The transmission cooler, remember the transmission blew up? That would be this one. So, I mean, I needed it. I need a car to get back and forth to work. Should I have had funds saved for, like, car maintenance, car repairs? Yes. Fortunately, I mean, it was only 136, where sometimes with a transmission it could be 2, 3, 4,000. So, when I look at it that way, not that bad, and I get to pay it off with 0% interest. So, it's to me, yeah, it adds debt, but it's not like the dangerous debt that we saw in the back. Tanning. Do I really need it? No. But it does make me a happier person. And I made sure that I got a tanning package that I could afford, and I know it's going to be paid off by the end of this month. Again, 0%. And basically, every time that I go, I just put $10 towards it, and then it's paid. So I don't have to worry about that. Again, the trick is not to accrue more debt. Now, paying towards these things does take away the funds from paying on the perks. So I do got to keep that in mind. But again, there was, even if we would just go 5 years back, all of these purchases would have been made on a card that had like 30% interest rates. And it just would have like spiraled out of control, like you can see whenever we do where what my debt balances are. So I am still using the cards, but it is definitely a little bit more healthier manner. Okay, it's baby steps. Tanning lotion, I'm still using the stuff that I got. I don't need to buy it. Bath fixtures, that was the next one. We had a hot water leak. I believe that was this Sunday. So yeah, I had to purchase those. They're on the Lowe's card. The way that I saw it, I needed the $50 to pay on something else, so I just put it on the Lowe's card. The fact that I couldn't pay it that day, like I could pay it that day, but I wanted that money for another bill that was due that week. So that's why it's considered an X. But yeah, I did need the bath fixtures because the hot water was just like leaking out of the faucet, and to me, that's using gas and water, which would make my utility bill skyrocket. So yeah, I spent that $50 to save like 100 some bucks next month. Yeah, oil and oil filter. Okay, so because I bought the transmission cooler, I got monies back from Advanced Auto. I had to use them before they expire, and they had a wonderful oil sale. And yes, my car does need an oil change. So yeah, I purchased a oil and oil filter, but guys, it was a really good price. I was able to pay that one out of pocket that day. It was like $16. Okay, so we have to, again, to pay these off. These are the purchases. They are not the accounts that we saw on the back of the book. So again, we're still working on that storage for Michael's. This is the transmission. So yeah, he's only 136, but again, it's like 4 equal payments or something. So yeah, whenever that just comes out, I think we got one coming up tomorrow. I just mark it off on there. The paper on perks. Finally, the Etsy shop funds got transferred over, so got that taken care of. But again, that was an X because I did purchase it before. Like, I should have transferred the funds over and then purchase it, But at the same time, I don't like transferring those funds over until I know the exact amount, because I like to keep shop funds with the shops versus putting it in my personal account. So, but I mean, that's why there's an X. So it's not like I was spending money that I didn't have. It's just that money wasn't in the account. I had to wait. Um, Tanning. So that would be Wednesday. Um, that one, no. I I should have saved the 70 some dollars before I got the, thing, but then again, like how we also what February was like. So that one, that's the iffy one. I should have been putting money back for that. So that's kind of like but it does make me happy. It does. Car insurance, that would be Friday's X. um, the one with this is, I will argue this, is I got like 60 to $80 taken off my 6 month bill if I covered it into 6 months instead of paying it monthly. Um, I was able to put it on a 0% card, and then this way I get to take advantage of that discount, but also pay per month like what I'm used to, and I'm actually saving $10 a month by doing this. So I'm still, like, I'm not gonna hurry up and pay it just because it is 0%. I'm gonna try to hit the accounts to have the higher percent before this one, but I am making sure that I am paying at least 50 on it per month to, pretend that I'm like paying my car insurance even though it's already paid. So yeah, that would be that Friday's X. This one is the sink. That's the bath fixtures, and I'm trying to. Okay. So this Friday's X is the vitamins. And there they are, the SP pills on Chase. We could see that whopping 187. So, yeah. Yeah, a lot of purchases in March. A lot of purchases that I did not cover. We could see, like, this one's a lot bigger list than what we saw in February. But, I mean, they're not. So far, nothing on this list here is the same as hairdryer. Like, no. Like, like, I'm still a little bit angry at myself that I spent $77 on a hairdryer, and I don't even like it, guys. I don't. I like their other products. Their little wand thing's pretty cool, but, um, yeah, their little hairdryer, I mean, I'm sorry, but the Conair one is a lot better. So yeah, I got suckered into that one. So yeah, I have a lot more purchases, but I will say that these purchases were, they're necessities. I need these things. So, moving into this monthly view here. Again, I just like to write down all of my bills. Just your main bills, your rent, utilities. I mark down the savings, including that $5 a day, which I just split into two payments because normally I have two pay periods in a month. Store credit cards, which are the tan, or the main credit cards, which are the light green. I did separate those two because, again, I'm trying to track the balances of the store cards as well. Just making sure that everybody's getting paid down and everybody has the attention that they deserve. And, of course, the loans. And the main reason behind keeping this monthly layout view is so that I can keep track of who needs paid during what pay period. Kind of like the budget mom system, which I know that she does. Like, you gotta fill out one of those budget forms per pay period. But, like, I like to see everything all in one glance. Oh, excuse me, sucked in too much air. And, no, I'd like to see everything in a monthly glance, but know, like, what's due in that pay period. So even with this, even though I don't have, like, the rent and everything marked down for the upcoming days in April, I can quickly glance and see, like, hey, next day I get paid is April 4th, and, like, that would mean days 1, 2, 3 in April need to be covered. So I can quickly look at this and say, okay, I need to cover these bills as well with this one. Which I hope that makes sense. Like, that's how I visually use this monthly layout, and it has really helped me with overspending and actually being able to pay the bills. There, which granted you can see I have a lot of bills. I know I have way more bills than most people. Um, but it just really helps me keep track of like who's getting paid what, who's due when. And it's just a double way because I do move those weekly bills onto the weekly layouts as well. It's just a way to double check and make sure that we're not missing any payments. And again, going through March, oh, I love these weekly layouts. So I do start with a focus. So again, this focus was to pay off Discover. I noticed that I only owed $81 after that transfer, and it was like, hey, I could get that down to zero. Of course, I wanted to lower the perks balance, so I did make that additional payment to perks. There he is. And again, like I list all the bills just to make sure that everybody's getting paid off. I do have areas for journaling so that, I could start thinking like, how am I feeling about my spending? Like, am I spending well? Are things going okay? I do track the daily mood because, again, if I notice that I'm like really, really happy or if I'm really, really angry, my spending does change with that. So yeah, see, we got the faucet. But I am excited because we got the leak top and it was only $50. So that's pretty cool. I do list down the 3 me times, and I mean, for the most part, yeah, we could see reading, painting, started my tans. Um, so yeah, and then this, if you're ever like, why do you keep talking about this perks card? 30 gallons, guys, 30 gallons of gas for $0. So yeah, I don't think that I would have spent any monies on gas for this month. So that is, God, that's nice. So that's money that I can use elsewhere now. Um, okay, so this is the week that we are on, finally made it. And yeah, so again, like I keep track of how I'm feeling for the week. So, we're pretty good. This is a lot better than what we were seeing in February. Again, the main question for the week was, what's my perks balance? Finally learned it. Friday night going into Saturday, it finally cleared. And again, that's not the balance that I was expecting, but it's a number now. I can work with that number. And if you've noticed that some of these are highlighted, that means these are the purchases that were made on a credit card. One that you may notice is my whole dining out, the Wendy's. I go to Wendy's on break, guys. I do. You could get the most food for the cheapest amount. So yeah, none of them have been paid, and it's because for some reason now Discover is taking forever to register the payments. Basically today I could have paid Discover for my funds, but they only included 2 of the meals, and it was like $9. And I'm just waiting for these last 2 to clear on it, just so that I can just say, okay, I got everything for the week paid off and check it off. So it's not like it's like hundreds of dollars. We're looking at like $16. So just waiting on Discover to say, here's your funds. Let's pay this off. Yeah, and of course, I went tanning on this day, so I put that $10 on the chase like I said I would. What else do we got? Okay, the SB pills, which, oh God, they're expensive, but that's 6 months worth. Even got to start on some of next week's bills, so we are planning ahead and getting those processed. And yeah, so I mean, basically the name of the game here is we have to survive today. Notice no spends on Saturday and Sunday. I came very close. Hence the little sticker that I got on here. This was supposed to be my haircut day. I typically get a haircut every 6 months. I'm somebody who, like, I enjoy getting the haircut, but it's not that big of a deal to me. Like, I got other priorities. So, yeah, I was like, okay, finally made it to haircut month. And then I saw the price that the haircuts have turned into, from 6 months ago. And there's no way. There's no way. I'm sorry. I'm not pending. I'm not spending 100. I can't even talk. It's $100, guys. Okay, like I remember back in the day when you could go get a haircut for like $10. it's, it's priced at 100 right now, and I was like, yeah. Um, so yeah, no, I'm gonna like I've been watching some tutorials, and I mean, my hair's long enough to where if I mess it up, I could always just put it back anyways. But I'm not spending $100 for a haircut. I'm not. I don't care. That's ridiculous. And yeah. So I mean, I would have spent yesterday, but seeing that price, maybe it's a silver lining type thing. But no, I just been watching some hair tutorials, and I just go in there every now and then and just kind of go snip snip and say, well, there you go, you get a haircut. I just I feel so bad for the people that have to get them now. That's crazy. That is crazy. What has this inflation turned into? Um, so yeah. Basically, like I said, got all the main things paid off on perks, and just waiting until I'm closer to payday, just to make sure that nothing spontaneous happens until then. And then we're gonna get Target paid off in the first part of the week, just because Target would have been paid off today, but Target won't let me, so I have to wait until the 18th. So Target's gonna be paid. Perks is going to be paid probably on Friday or Saturday. And we'll have two accounts. So that's two accounts taken down in the month of March. So, like I said, January and February were beaters of months. Did I have a lot of spending in March? Yes, but I'm just going to say, like, I really do feel like the March saying is true. It came in like a lion, and I really do feel like it's going to go out like a lamb. So I'm feeling pretty good about the, direction we are going as we head into the next week of March, guys. So, with that, I am gonna close out. And again, just say thank you so much for watching, guys. I do greatly appreciate it. It makes my day to see the views and the comments. I love responding back to you. And again, if you would like to see more budget reviews, please hit that like and subscribe button.